Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of Genuine Unintelligence. Got Chuck with us here today. Chuck if you buck. I don't know why that stupid song stuck in my damn head when I was saying. Well, I don't remember. Was that Crime Mob? Nuck if you buck. I don't even fucking remember, but something like that from childhood. But yeah, Chuck's here with us. We got a few topics to discuss. I got to look this up real quick just for my own. It is Crime Mob. Crime Mob and Little Scrappy. Okay. Well, at least I remember that. Yeah, I don't know. It comes on me sometimes. Anyways, I guess we'll start off with the well, I guess first, sorry for the delays and the solos and stuff. Everybody's been crazy busy and starting new jobs and everything like that. So it's been busy for all of us here shortly. Search starts his new job tomorrow, and I started mine last week. As far as mine, things have been going great. I think I'll mesh with my new team well, and things seem to be moving good. So here's your little update on that. Um, we both used to work for the same place. We're both happily separated from that place. So yeah, yeah. I was close to, I don't know, a few months off for 3 years there, and yeah, I'm glad I got out and took the chance. Yeah, because remember half that time was through, or half the first year was through Penback, so that wasn't even being counted, as a tenure, even though it's literally doing the same job. But anyways, yeah, so that place is going to hell in a handbasket. Not going, it's already there. So everybody else I know is already vacating there as well. So yeah, yeah, I imagine everything is literally on fire from me being gone currently. Uh, when you don't realize that someone's carrying the department. Well, me and really one other person. I don't know if they're even going to listen to this, but at least want to give them credit anyways. But the yeah, if you have the two tenured people who've been carrying the weight for literally almost 2 years, and no one listens to you and realizes what you do, and then you both bounce at literally the same time. Good luck with that. Yes, and I don't take bliss in anybody's misery, but I do think it's that they probably learned what I was trying to tell them. And I'm a pretty humble person. I'm not saying I'm a genius by any means, but when I say carrying the department, that is not an understatement. Say literally, really the only two who knew. I mean, I'll say at least it was an insurance, but the only two of us that knew policies inside and out, how to handle everything, denials, like all this very important shit that you could get very fined for, and everything else, lose your licenses, among many other problems. Get sued, both yourself and the company. Yeah, all the information, because for those who don't know anything about insurance, insurance is different in every single damn state, and did not work in one state. I think we covered 20 something. Shit, I don't know, but so imagine having all that information, and then let's just say my previous authority figure retired, and they hired someone new, and they did not pick up things well or really do a whole lot of productive listening. This is me putting it nicely. So things went to shit. I finally made my out. I think they were kind of thinking I was never going to actually do it. So I had to call their bluff a little bit, and much better opportunity. Much better, much less stressful, the new gig. A lot better team, a lot better management, a lot better company. But I'd imagine my previous one is probably literally on fire. And yeah, I wonder how long it's going to take them to realize the like probably several hundred thousands of dollars are going to lose by screwing everything up once I'm gone. Because again, in insurance, if you do things the wrong way, or you don't do it fast enough, or you say the wrong things, you can pretty much end up having to pay everything, and that will lead to losses.
It's not even getting the fine part of it out of the way. It's
Yeah. Or if you don't do research, you don't fucking. I mean, like I said, if you don't send a document in enough time, you don't respond in enough time, you don't give them monthly, you know, status letters, or if you just don't know the policy period, then yeah, you're gonna get stuck paying all that. And I've already seen several hundreds of $1,000s of probably. Hell, I've probably seen over $1 million of fuck ups in my time there, not of my own, of other people that have came and gone. Yeah, say really being generous there. Other people have came and gone, and including management and everything else. Of it was always we lost so many people working there, and they would just hire temps over and over again. But yeah, what would happen there is, since the authority figure also didn't know anything about that, it would just be, hey, just give it to Nick, he'll figure it out. Like, okay, so let me review everything of what's not been done, see if we can do anything about it. In most cases, we're fucked because we've already gone out of compliance and everything, and then we just have to pay whatever they want and just hope they don't ask for the world. So, without that knowledge base, I'm sure it's going to be quite dandy there. So we'll see how that works out. Uh, yeah. So yeah, people at home will probably find funny in that one. But yeah, going on to a do what? Were you saying something or just random noise?
no, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Moving on to a different topic. Um, the draft just happened, the NFL draft. So, as you guys probably already know, I'm a Panthers fan, unfortunately, and Chuck's a Niners fan. So, obviously, out the gate, the Panthers took Bryce. Let me just say, I I'm not a scout or a genius in anything, but I will start off by the positive. He's obviously very smart, knows football, knows the plays, knows the routes. He was part of a very successful team in Alabama. So let's get the positives. So I think his head's in the right place and he's accurate. Now the question marks are going to be the throwing power. Obviously, it can be a problem in the NFL if you can't make all the throws, or you have to switch to a system to accommodate said person. Not that that's never not worked before. There's been plenty of people who have been successful by changing the system to their strengths. Probably what you should do, anyways. But
He reads the home.
yeah, or I mean Lamar, to a lesser extent. But that does eliminate some plays from the playbook if someone doesn't have the arm power or to get out of certain situations. If you can't, like throwing off your back foot, for instance, that really shouldn't happen anyways, but that's probably off the table. I mean, if you're throwing off your back foot, you're probably desperate anyways, but yeah. The other, obviously, size, smaller stature. I mean, we've had split results in the NFL. I mean, Michael Vick wasn't huge by any means. He was very successful. No, he was probably not far. I think they said Bryce is 200, so I can't imagine he's probably not maybe 20 pounds over that, I guess. I don't know. I'm not looking it up, but you, you know, I, Michael Vick was probably 220, just guessing. Yeah, so 10 to 15, pounds. Obviously, the big thing is you can't grow taller. You can put on more weight. So obviously Bryce isn't going to get any taller at 20-something years old. But so in addition to the size, also the other that Tua had some obvious bad injury luck. I don't know if that's really something to count because that wasn't even really a normal injury in the first place.
That's concussion, bro.
Yeah.
That's not lung.
Yeah, say that's not really a size thing. That could have happened to anybody. So, Jalen Hurts has seemingly been doing well at that size, but historically the NFL at that size has not been best, the greatest luck. But again, the game is changing to a more fast-paced spread type scenario for a lot of teams. So we'll see. But those are the question marks, as I would call it, for Sir Bryce.
Mine, you have to go with mine off.
None. Well, I mean, I guess the jury is still out on Tua.
Right. And I guess Jalen Hurts technically played.
Right.
Played not.
Right.
I think that.
Well, yeah, and just my overall dislike for Alabama in general. Doesn't. So this is old, but apparently Bart Starr and Joe Namath went to Alabama, but that was centuries ago.
The 60s.
Yeah. And of course Mac Jones, which I don't know. I think the jury's already out on Mac Jones, but we'll see. Right.
But I think drafting maybe you have to play.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the motivation to want to break that too. I mean, like I said, I don't like Alabama. Alabama and Ohio State are the two schools that I dislike the most. So this is a lose-lose for me. For
I think like we were talking about the other day. You go and you break down.
I know, see that's the other thing too is not only do they not usually, I mean, Ohio State obviously Fields is from there. That's a wait and see on Fields, there. But Ohio State also has a history of not the greatest quarterbacks. But then again, is there really any college that's like quarterback you? I mean,
Huh?
the the Canes had Testaverde and Kelly, but that was what feels like centuries ago. I don't know. There's not a.
I can't say that.
So that's what I mean. Is it a school thing or is it literally just so rare to get a cornerstone quarterback that it's really no college has been able to do it over and over? Like it's right.
It's not. You think about it. It's not that.
Right. Like Rodgers is from Cal. I can't even name another Cal quarterback.
I mean, sure, there's
Sure. The only the only college I can think of that's actually turned out a few good ones, I'm sure there's more, is actually USC. But they haven't been elite. They just been good. You know what I mean? Like so I it's so hard because you can't. I mean, can anybody name any other Texas Tech quarterback other than Mahomes? Probably not. It's just it's so hit and miss. It's like you don't really I don't know. I think it's such a hard to find a cornerstone quarterback and coach combination because they can't do it alone. That because there's always the what if. What if Mahomes had been drafted by the Bears? Nothing against Mahomes, but do you think he really would have? I highly doubt he would have already won 2 Super Bowls.
You don't have any reason, like we were saying earlier, hindered around.
Right. It's like how many of these guys from these colleges, and I don't know any, just lack of better words, but talent has been wasted just on a bad coaching staff or a bad approach.
Thing too, man. Look at Sam Darnold. Over it again.
Well, anybody under Matt Rule is going to do bad. Just in the NFL. I mean, he may be a good college coach. He needs to stay the hell away from the NFL. That's for sure. Speaking of which, there's a Bleacher Report article. Did you see all the GMs are convinced that Darnold's going to be the starter?
Yeah.
I've been calling it. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's
I'm not buying it.
well, they said at least for week 1 that he's for sure going to start over Lance. I'm like, well, yeah, I figured that. I'm sure he is. It's going to be between. It's going to end up being between Purdy and Darnold. I don't think Trey Lance is even in the mix anymore, unless something catastrophic happens.
Let him training with Mahomes off. Change something.
I know it's hard to give up on somebody after just one season, but we've seen it countless times. The Panthers did the same thing with Jimmy Clausen. We took Clausen. It obviously did not turn out. Now, he was a second rounder, but we turned around and drafted Cam right away. The Titans just did the same thing with Malik Levis. So it's not that uncommon. And then we just did the same thing again with Coral, actually. So sometimes you just, well, I mean, the GM was still there, but everybody knows it's well documented that Matt Rule was actually calling the plays when it comes to player personnel. So Coral was really his pick, not Fitterer's pick. So, I mean, kind of a weird thing where our GM is still the same GM that drafted him, but he really didn't. It's kind of a weird dynamic for the Panthers, but I guess I'll move to second rounder since I know the Niners didn't pick till what 3. So Jonathan Mingo is a wide receiver from Mississippi. Why the hell is this all backwards? Oh, by the way, I have the stats right here. By the way, I'm stupid. It come when I copied it. So Bryce is 5'10", 204 pounds. By the way, so when I copied it, it copied everything over. So Jonathan Mingo, he's from Mississippi. I mean, I don't get a lot of TV games here, obviously. So I try to watch a lot of college football. I didn't get to see a lot of him play. I'm just going off by what I've heard. But according to the quote unquote experts, he apparently had some of the best hands in the draft. And he's 6'2", 220. So he's a bigger, I guess, he's probably middle of the pack. I wouldn't say bigger. Bigger is like 6'5". But I'm going to assume, I guess, Panthers faithful, just yell at me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to assume this is going to shortly end Terrace Marshall's time in Carolina at any moment now. Yeah.
You can't go and blame it on.
Well, there was a couple people. There was a couple when we talked the other day. There's a couple receivers on our team that I forgot about. So we have Shark, who we just got. We have Thielen that we just got. We have Mingo that we just got. We also have Chenault. We have Terrace Marshall we just talked about. We have Shi Smith, unless he's been cut. And we just re-signed holy shit. I was just thinking of his name. He went to the Falcons and just came back. He was a special teams player with us before, but he actually made some good plays, and of course I can't remember his freaking name. But he came back as well. Why can I not remember his name? Damn it. I'm going to have to Google it now. I had it in my head. Well, that was what, 7?
Close to it, I think, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look up his name. Sucks that I forgot his name. But he played some receiver, and then he was a special teams guy. But he was actually doing well as a receiver because he used to be on the team. But he had some injury issues. So that was really what held him back before. He did go to the Falcons. I'm pretty sure he torched us last year when we played the Falcons. That was probably on CJ Henderson. Just going to go ahead and guess. I'm sure that's probably a pretty wise guess. Holy hell, what was his name? What were you saying?
Yeah, they don't think Jackson or JC
No, they were unfortunately. Jackson got hurt at the very end, and JC got hurt halfway through. That's gonna kill me until I. Oh, I know it. It's Damiere Byrd. Yeah, he was gone for I think a season or two, and I read the other day that he signed back. So, that's like 7 receivers. We're definitely not carrying 7 into the season, and Terrence Marshall would still be on his rookie deal. So, I'm assuming he gets dealt. I mean, I'm not saying his career's over, but I think his time in Carolina is definitely over. I mean, I could see him getting traded even to like the Chiefs or somebody that just needs depth, and he might turn it around. But he's barely touched the field in 2 years, so there's probably either maybe he just doesn't match the scheme or it was the previous coaching. But either way, he hasn't had a whole lot of playing time in 2 years, and our team hasn't been the best, so there's something going on. Anyways, so yeah, so Mingo, I'm assuming being a high second round pick that he's likely to start.
I think it was being as giddy as he is as far as like his right.
So I'm assuming that's going to slide him in with Thielen and Shark as the starters. We'll see what the hell we do with Shenault, because I feel like Shenault was a great playmaker, but all we did was make him run stupid end arounds like all last year. I hope not. Every time he was in, you knew the dude. So I felt bad for him because he literally ran like 50 yards of play just running sideline to sideline. Like, what the hell are we doing? So I don't know. Maybe they're gonna play him some at running back. Who knows? I mean, we do need running backs, so hell, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna do that. But anyways, uh, next one, I guess, and then you'll go. I don't know a whole lot about this kid. I say kid just because, I mean, to us, he really is kind of a kid. DJ Johnson. I know he played edge. They have him listed as an edge from Oregon. Let's just say they say we reached and shit all over this pick, but as we were going to talk about, the people who do these drafts and everything have been doing it forever, but they don't know shit either.
Oregon puts out some pretty good D linemen, bro. We got.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I mean, they would have been a Cristobal guy, I'm assuming, you know. So I'm assuming he's probably from that era. If he's
some talent there. I mean, I would say probably maybe.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 260. The Panthers just switched to a 3-4 for the first time that I know of in their career this year. So would be interesting. We need a linebacker, but we also kind of need an end. I know we're moving D tackle over to play in, so we'll see what kind of they do. Shaq's going to move from middle back to outside. That should. We still have Luvu, who had a breakout season last year. So I think we'll figure out what to do with him. But we needed linebacker depth, so can't go wrong there. I guess you're hot up with your hot pick.
Oh yeah. So we
Which, if you for those, for those that don't watch football, as far as safeties go, the idea that speed is going to stop somebody from being a good safety is just stupid. I mean, if you think about like the two best lifetime of our safeties, Ed Reed and Palomalu, wasn't neither one of them blazingly fast. Just throwing that out there. No, like yeah, it's really just playing the ball. Obviously, yeah, if you're lining up one-on-one to guard a receiver and you playing man, I doubt the Niners are smarter than that. First of all, yeah. So I'll say the Niners are smarter than that to begin with. So it's I don't. They're not going to Conti him or anything.
Now we Jimmy Ward went over to the Texans. He's going to be starting.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys took our head coach, well, interim head coach. So obviously he knows what he's doing on the defense. I'm interested to see what he comes up with. You know, there's still that whole thing about him not getting a head coach job or whatever there. But I'm just saying with this, yeah, with the scouting and all these rankings and shit. I mean, to be honest, they don't know. It's just a guess. I mean, they do what they can to get the intangibles. They've been talking about getting rid of the combine because it's literally useless. Doesn't mean you can or can't play football. How many times have they gotten it wrong? And also, it doesn't you can't record whether someone gives a shit on tape. Once you get paid, that's a whole different story. We'll see. So just keep in mind when it comes to these picks, the later picks, nobody knows, and there's been actually a very rich history of people getting taken late that have ended up being the best players. That happens time and time again. So the next pick was.
You guys have a third?
Our third was DJ, so you can go or I can go. It don't matter.
Because everybody knows. They're a halfback. This is quite shocking. Well, just it for kicking. So I guess probably took in the draft. Supposedly, yeah. I guess called it the end. And I guess all the other.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you guys did get McCaffrey from us, the best running back in football, for pretty much nothing. So, so I don't think you guys need a halfback by any means. But I mean, historically, you guys have actually taken that and then hit on those, which is funny how that works. But
and the funny thing is about Moody is, well,
he's from Michigan, right? Yeah. Yeah, they did. Well, Belichick was a special teams coach when he started and loved special teams. He's had pretty good luck with lifetime kickers too, with both Vinatieri and then was it Gostkowski? That was his name, right? Yeah. So the Colts. I just started thinking about Mike Vanderjagt when I said usually picks for high kickers go well, and then I remembered that. Didn't they take him in the first round? Maybe I'm just imagining that. I could have swore the Colts took Vanderjack in the first round for some stupid reason. I really hope not. I remember they touted him as, the next Vinatieri, and then he was just not not it. Speaking of which, I was thinking about this earlier. I'm pretty sure, unless I imagine things, I think the Panthers are still carrying 2 kickers, unless we cut one. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we kept Panero. Okay. Let's hope we're not kicking 38 or more like 300 field goals this year. So let's hopefully, oh hell, the punter we got, Hecker. Hopefully he's not punting 140 times this season. No, I know his legs probably worn out from last season. No, from us. We got him last year, so he's probably all kinds of wore out. So the next pick for the Panthers, which is something, we got a guard. His name's Chandler Zavala from NC State. That's inside our conference, but they don't, unless Miami's playing NC State, I'm not really hopping on an NC State game or anything. Nothing against NC State. It's just not really on my. I don't think they've been ranked for a long time, so even if they wanted to, they're not going to play the games here. But 6'3", 322. Our line, yeah, he's a guard. Our line has gotten a lot better last year than the year before, and to be honest, you can't go wrong with line depth. So, can't complain. Our line's pretty set from what I remember. We re-signed everybody, so should be good there. But again, injuries. You got to have someone that can step in. We all know that's killed the Panthers in the past. Oh, I just meant offensive line losing us games. I'm sure you probably know where I'm thinking of. So let's not relive that. But yeah. But I guess I'll go ahead and finish out our pick. So the last one, which we needed, the guy named Jamie Robinson from Florida State, which is again in our conference, 5'11", 190. I don't know a lot, but we needed safety depth. I don't know if he's going to be starting. I know we just re-signed Xavier Woods earlier this year for like 3 years or something like that. And but we need safety depth. Boy, that we do need. We still have Chin, obviously. Well, I think they're going to be moving him back to linebacker. The word is so. I think he's going to be moving to outside linebacker too, possibly, because that's what when he was doing very well, he was labeled as a safety, but they really had him playing linebacker when he came in. So I think the word is they're going to do that for him. So we'll see, whatever works out. But either way, we need safety depth because he did drop off. But while the defense was better last year under Wilkes, both him and Shaq fell backwards from the beginning of their career. So hopefully we can revive that and get that back on track. That would be nice because that was 2 of our better players and we need them. So, but again, I call it the Matt Rule effect. Who the hell really knows? It's Matt Rule. As you can tell, I'm not a big fan. I don't know who would be after having to witness the past 3 years of pain. So, wish them all the best of luck in Nebraska. Stay the hell away from Carolina and the Hurricanes, please. And yeah, I guess on to your pick. Well, I don't think Alabama really threw to tight ends very much. Probably blocking too, because they ran the shit out of the ball. which you guys do too. Same. We got to think all the wide receivers Alabama had, Jameson Williams and everybody else. Not like he was high on the target list.
Right.
So, but
The other pick we got was in the 5th round. It was Daryl South Alabama. I think that's he was Sun Belt. He did.
well, you guys know you need backup tight end or backup quarterbacks.
Corner, yeah.
Is Verrett still playing? I was gonna say yeah. Here's to good luck for both of our teams not having their freaking corners hurt the whole season. Like you guys need yours just like we need ours because both of ours have been out for past 2 years now. We don't need that. Need our corners, please.
Other dude we got, I'm pretty excited about, was edge rusher for Georgia that we actually got in the 5th round.
You mean Philly didn't take him?
Nah, it's actually I guess he had the 26 stop. Back over in the championship or something, but
You could never have too many linemen on either side. Say, did he play? I hope not.
He's a third linebacker. This dude. Hey, if he can fly.
Nice. Damn. 246 tackles is a lot for anybody in college. Just yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot. And usually linebackers in college are not in coverage because they, college rosters are what is it, like 100, probably 100 now. I mean, they have corners and depth galore, so that's a shitload of tackles for any linebacker. So he knows how to tackle. Well, they probably got half of those tackles from everybody being wide open on Georgia, so probably got that like in the championship game. Probably the only person to tackle anybody. At least, well, they can't all be winners, can they?
I tried to ask John about it.
What position does he play?
He's a tight end.
Oh.
I guess 58 games he played over his career. He had 75 receptions, 1,000 yards.
Well, considering how shit OU's quarterbacks have been, he might be good. Not know. Might not know. I mean, OU's been falling, which is amazing. So, yeah, we like watching OU lose. It's a good pastime for us. It is. Oh, if I ever get down in the dumps, I just watched the Statue of Liberty by Boise State on them. Never gets old.
It looks like our. He's okay.
There's nothing else. The last two may just be practice squad players, but you never know. Just why you get in the game to stay ready. You never. I mean, being on the practice squad is no laughing matter. That's still an accomplishment in depth because you never know what one play, you know, some of these people may not be Hall of Famers because you can't all be, but somebody may make one huge play that could change a season or, a game, and you never really know.
Yeah, it looks like our last pick was actually Rams linebacker from Purdue.
Oh, he's getting cut.
That's more of a,
I'm just messing around. I don't even know anything about him. I just heard linebacker in Purdue. I'm like, yeah, he's cut. I mean,
yeah, it looks like he's 36 games. He started on 35 of them.
oh shit.
Not really over a lot. Okay, but a lot of
Late round picks. Yeah.
they're just top picks.
Right.
They question simply what he said. He's like, unless we like him, they're gonna fit. He didn't like any of them.
Yeah. Why just pick to pick? That's why you go with the best available. That's what most GMs will tell you.
They're questionable.
Yeah, we know you don't play anything what we need. We're just going to draft you anyways. Like, yeah, that'll work out good. Here, just learn all this new shit you've never even heard of before. Like,
right.
That'll be good. Some, for a 7th rounder coming in the league, just here you go. Learn everything, just nothing like anything you've ever done.
That wraps up all of our picks. I mean, I'm happy with it. Like I said, a lot of
Well, shit, any depth is good for you guys. You guys would have killed somebody to have a quarterback in the championship game. Shit, even Baker would have been a fucking upgrade, and that's saying something. You're getting pretty low if you're asking for Baker. By the way, enjoy the shit out of that, Buccaneers fans. Enjoy it. Soak that all in. I'm just no, I'm not just trying to hate on him, but I for some reason, anytime I've ever been critical, I'm not even like trying to take shots at the guy. I've just said he hasn't played well, and everybody argues with me. Like,
he came out of college.
That's true. Oh, Leaf. Yep, from UCLA. Yeah, it's a sight to behold. That's why I made some comments on my Facebook like I was relieved when he got cut. Not that I wish bad upon him, but holy shit, I was just happy for a fresh start because I couldn't watch it anymore. And right, I don't wish bad upon any human. I just didn't want him on the team. That's what people seem to have a problem distinguishing for some reason. I don't. But yeah, I was like viciously attacked by all these Rams fans who were defending him for the one game he played well, and then they all got quiet the rest of the season. Everything went to shit for him too there, and they're yeah, of course. Right, like yeah, he did well for it won him that one game. Great, good for him. That's great. Yeah, happy for him. However, he is not. I would not put my money on him being a franchise quarterback. I don't know what the hell the Bucks are thinking. I'm going to tell you right now. I bet Kyle Trask is starting by Game 5. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing that out there because yeah. Again, I think he's one of the players that got to see both Matt Rule and Steve Wilks, and Wilks didn't even start him when he was healthy. Not only did he not even start him, he didn't even put him on the roster. So I think that probably tells you everything you need to know right there. Some of the most painful games I've watched. Speaking of picks, so this is just with the information. So the Panthers, since we've been trading all our picks for shitty quarterbacks for like 3 years, sorry, Darnold, you're not shit, just the team around you, uh, and the support you had. Darnold had ups and downs. When he came back last season, he was much better shape. He was actually healthy. Almost got us to the playoffs. So no hate towards Darnold there. But we've been in this cycle of giving up picks for quarterbacks that haven't worked out, whether it's them wanting to leave or just not working out with Baker, Darnold. We drafted Coral. He's probably going to be cut or traded. I'm just going to guess, since he's going off the cuff on Twitter now. It's probably not a good idea. Anyways, we have a second, a third, a fourth, 2 fifth, and a sixth next year. So not really a whole lot there. No first. Unfortunately, since that went to the Bears to take Bryce. So all I'm saying is we really better hope that Bryce is the one, or we're really fucked. That's all I can say. Because then we would have gave up both DJ Moore, our best receiver, and our first, and any chance at the quarterbacks next year. So better hope it's right.
We actually get our first back from the stupid Trey Lance trade, so we finally got a first round. I got a first, second.
Yeah, we swapped picks. Yeah.
Got a first round pick.
Well, and to clarify too, 3 of those picks weren't even ours. Your guys' pick was our fifth, Tennessee fifth, and Arizona sixth. So we only got those back by trading away. I don't know what the hell Arizona was thinking, giving us the 6th rounder for Robbie Anderson, or sorry, chosen Anderson now, but good luck with that. Again, no hate on Robbie or chosen or whatever, but again, somebody else who was not working out. There really wasn't there was almost nothing that's been redeeming about the past 3 seasons for the Panthers. Maybe other than Devontae Foreman, which is on the Bears. That's about the only good spot. Everybody else pretty much regressed, except for Luvu. Luvu actually was a standout. Somehow, through all that shit, Luvu got better. I don't know how, but it happened. So good for Luvu.
I remember watching the game. He was one of the bright spots besides Burns.
Yeah, Burns has been solid his whole career, so I will be excited to see if we actually get. First of all, he's obviously going to be switching to linebacker, sure, but we'll be glad to see. Yeah, for Florida State, so that should be back to his bread and butter, and hopefully we get him someone on the other side so he's not getting doubled the whole time. Sure, that would be nice. But I guess we'll see on that. Some movie reviews I think I glanced upon. We went and saw John Wick 4. Amazing through and through. Action scenes, fantastic. Probably the best one of the series, which is saying something.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the series. It was like non-stop action, like all 3 hours, like a whole movie.
Yeah, very rarely does a 3-hour action movie work, but I have nothing bad to say about the movie.
There's just literally nothing bad to say about it. The story made sense. The characters in the show that
He even had some humor in there.
The characters in the development depth and built to them from the previous movies, so it was.
Yeah, just a banger through and through. If you like action, definitely go watch it. I'm curious to see your reaction on this because I read it afterwards and I was like, wait, where? So, Evil Dead, was it Rises? Yeah. So, first of all, great movie. I was super confused because after we watched it, something popped up in my feed of some sort talking about a cameo from Bruce, and I'm like, where did that happen?
He was in there.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just figured that was just the part of the story. I didn't. I was like, I thought they were talking about him literally being on screen. I'm like, when the hell did that happen? I'm like,
See, I did the same thing off the top of my head. I read it. I'm like, okay, it's just his voice on the recording. I think it's something. He was not in the damn movie.
yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, I would have seen that because I guess him and the director went a little bit back and forth on that. That he was fighting for him to be in the movie because of the time traveling ability, and they didn't want him to be. So then they settled on him being on the recordings, which would make sense. I think so too. I mean,
At the lake scene, like,
with how ridiculous Evil Dead is to begin with, especially with the majority of them being comedies, like we couldn't really throw them in.
he went back.
That's what I'm saying. Like we couldn't do that, but I guess him and the director were at odds over that. And another random note about Bruce Campbell: apparently there was rumors he was going to be in Mortal Kombat 11, and apparently he's extremely against his character being in Mortal Kombat 12 for some reason. Guess he just doesn't want that to ruin the character or stay in the character. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know what being in Mortal Kombat's gonna harm, but I mean it's his character, so I'll let him make that decision. But just a random thing I read, I'm like, okay. There's like everybody's in Mortal Kombat, man. I mean, right? I'm like the goriness. I don't understand. Like I don't think that would lower the character of Ash at all. But I'm not a film expert, and it's not my character, so I'm not going to speak for him. But just my thoughts on it. I was like, that's really weird. I don't. But anyways, the movie was great, extremely gory, as it should be. Probably the goriest one so far, by far, I'd say, by leaps and bounds. Um,
Dark so far.
yeah, dark, different setting, obviously, not a cabin in the woods,
Way different setting.
in the city. They made it work. They made the story work with that surrounding and the reason that no one's coming to their aid and stuff like that. So I was very pleased. Again, I don't have any real criticisms with it. Obviously, if you have to change from a cabin, you can, writing wise, get away with a whole lot when you're literally in a cabin in the middle of the woods. Not to be confused with a cabin in the woods, but I mean, you have to get a little creative with the writing and the reasons behind the things of why if you're in an apartment building that no one can come help you. So I think they did well getting around all those obstacles and changing it to the city.
It definitely made it make sense.
Right.
I appreciate
And it wasn't like a stupid reason, it wasn't just like passable.
Yeah. No glaring holes in the plot or anything like that, which was appreciated. So they took time and they did it right.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. They did it well. If you're into horror and gory, and if you're a fan of the Evil Dead series, definitely worth the watch. I would recommend, unless they're older, do not take your kids to go see it. So don't do that unless they're teenagers, and it's up to you if if they're if they've been exposed to goriness and horror before. It should be fine. There was no nudity or anything in it, so um, I'm not gonna lie, this movie was an absolute banger just out of nowhere. But Renfield with Nicolas Cage, about him playing Dracula, like sleeper banger. Did not expect it to be so damn funny or gory. It was
kind of it surprised me because I figured it was really kind of like an action, maybe like going into maybe like a thriller type, I guess you could say.
right.
I didn't know it was gonna be a comedy going in, but
No, they're. But I mean, that's literally why I continuously go watch Nicolas Cage movies, is because you literally have no idea what you're walking into. Like he has so much off the wall shit in the scripts he does. That's what makes it great.
that's what the movie was. The off the wall. You have to have a
I didn't even know the female lead has a comedy show on Comedy Central. Yeah, I had no clue about that. So I was even walking in blind. If I would have known that, I probably would expect more comedy. But it was hilarious. Like it really was, and it was even good as an action movie itself. So, uh,
The plot itself is pretty cliche, but the way they
I mean, that's you're talking about Dracula. So we're not going to break any ground with Dracula.
play out. Just my minor critiques, like
Yeah, it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised. That's why I mean,
let's hope the playoff system changes. I guess we can say.
right? This is kind of what we were talking about this morning. It's the type of humor that is clever because it's being obvious.
That's
It-
exactly what it was. So cliche.
but it's not trying to fool you by trying to act like it's brilliantly written, because there is a difference, I think, in my own opinion, that which I mean, I've shit on Family Guy. I don't know how many times in this pod. I'm just gonna keep doing it. Uh, not as I'm just gonna keep doing it. Fuck it, just going all in. Nothing against Seth MacFarlane. I can watch Ted 1 and 2. I've never been a fan of Family Guy. I just can't do it. It's not my type of humor. It's like obvious humor that's written in a way that is supposed to be like trying to act like it's not, and that I just can't with that shit. Like if it's written in an obvious humor way, but it's not trying to pretend that it's not, that's funny to me. Like what Renfield was, and or Pootie Tang. Like Pootie Tang is complete satire, but it's satire from the beginning. Exactly. It's over the top ridiculousness from start to finish. And I think there's a lot of comics that we talked about. Norm Macdonald had comedy style was that way. He would remember like on the I don't remember what roast it was. Remember he told a bunch of uh, bad jokes on purpose, and just funny as shit. Like yeah, like it was killing it. Like because I relate with that type of humor that gets me, but I can't do the Family Guy type shit. I just can't. And that's what this is leading to something that we're going to talk about here shortly because I've made this comment and I'll probably get roasted for it. But when it comes to that type of humor, that's just not me. Now, I think the geniusness, which I said earlier about South Park, which I think South Park has cemented itself, if nothing else, to be the greatest comedy show of all time. Sorry, Simpsons, but I just right. Nothing against the Simpsons. I'm no people still watch it. I don't actively watch the Simpsons, so I'm not saying the Simpsons is bad. But the cleverness of Matt Stone and Trey Parker and what they've done with South Park is they make jokes and there's always hidden humor that people don't catch on to. And that's what kills me because I get those little tidbits and it makes like I just roll with it. It's so damn funny because they'll make jokes, but some people just don't. And the jokes themselves are hilarious, but then there's so much more to the back sides of the jokes.
Because they make fun of current events and current topics, like they keep it relevant.
And they take the gloves off. They don't give a shit who they offend.
Oh yeah, they don't. They every race.
Yeah, so they don't give a shit. Yeah, because there's always a second part of the joke that they're not saying it out loud, but there's always something in the background. That's what makes it funny. It's like, they'll make a statement, but they're also making a side statement at the same time, and it's hard to explain. But this a lot of the shit they do, it just like I mean, the Disney episode, Mickey Mouse running around with a fucking chainsaw. Oh my god. So, you know, obviously this is an example of the one I think of the most. So, obviously the Jonas Brothers were on the episode, and if you haven't seen it, uh, Mickey Mouse is running around with a chainsaw, threatening everybody and telling them they have to wear the purity ring because it sells ratings and everything else. I mean, what they're saying in the background without saying it outright is they're basically outright saying that Disney's been selling sex to kids for years, which is true, by the way. That's a true statement. I mean, and it's not just Disney. Just to clarify, I'm not just calling out Disney. It's a huge corporation, so I'm sure they'll sue me. But everybody sells sex. Let's just get that out there. Any network, they're selling sex one way or another. But it's the goal to say that, but that's the joke that people aren't picking up on in the background. You're like, holy shit, that's what they're actually saying. Like they're saying like the whole Tolkien and token thing, like just so absurd in every way that that's just what connects to me over Family Guy. I can't even make it through Family Guy. The fucking episode of South Park making fun of Family Guy is funnier than Family Guy all day with the sea manties. I'm pretty sure that episode's banned now, so you can't look it up on HBO. But the idea was that they was it Cartman and wasn't it Bart from The Simpsons is going to cancel Family Guy, and they find out they're trying to find the writing staff, and they find out it's a bunch of sea manties, and they just have little random balls, and they just hit it into like a corner of the fish tank, and that's what makes every joke in the episode for Family Guy. And it's like the same setup for every joke. and then you realize that, and you're like, holy shit, it really is like, you know. And there's a little bit of disdain there too, because if you don't know the history, the show was originally pitched to Fox for South Park when they did was it Frosty versus Jesus? I think is what the original one was. Like a little skit they did. They pitched to Fox, and Fox turned them down. So of course they're gonna. Yeah, it was way before South Park ever started. It might have been like '95 or '96. So yeah, they're obviously going to continue to go after Fox because of the outright incredible success they've been that they passed up on. I do the same thing too. I just keep taking shots. Like fuck it. just keep on going, just like I am with Family Guy. Why not? Just keep taking shots year after year after year. Anyways, this whole conversation about South Park and Family Guy is going somewhere first. I was gonna say, which I said previously, I am not a fan of the new Mario movie. Sorry if that offends you. I'm gonna preface by saying this that I think, which is fine by the way, this is a totally fine approach, but the movie was definitely made for children, and the humor type is not something I relate with. It just doesn't do it for me. It does it for thousands of people. The movie's gonna make $1 billion. That's fine. It's just not reviews and everything are for that person. That's why I encourage you, if you really want to know, just go watch the movie because everybody's sense of humor and everything's different.
Everybody's got different tastes. You're a block.
If you listen to this podcast and agree and think we're funny, you're probably not going to like the Mario movie. just throwing that out there. Our audience may or may not like it. Just a disclaimer. You may like it. Shit, I don't know. If you think Despicable Me is funny, then you're probably going to like it. But I don't watch those movies either. I've probably said it, but my two all-time Disney movies are Toy Story and Aladdin. So,
I mean, if you're an adult, you're alright. If you have kids, stuff with your kids.
well, yeah, 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 family-friendly movie for you and the kids, absolutely. Nothing, there's nothing in the movie that I would say would be not to take your kids to. But if you're losers like us in your 30s with no kids, then yeah, you're there's not much in that movie for us. It just wasn't made for us. You're like, hey, I grew up with Mario. I can't wait to see that. And you're like, oh shit. It's like 5 minutes in. It's like, oh god, this movie was made for 5-year-olds. No, like I just want out of here. Another movie that I talked a little bit that we went to was the D&D movie. Yeah, D&D movie was fantastic. I mean, I wasn't expecting to be that damn funny. I'm not gonna lie. Much like Renfield.
The D&D did a very tastefully good job.
Yes, it feels like it was definitely written by people who have actually played the game. Like, it definitely felt like it was written by people who actively play D&D, for real, because they get the humor and they get the fun and entertainment beside of it, and they didn't take themselves too seriously, and you knew that from the very beginning. They set the tone that while they do take D&D seriously, it's not gonna be an over the top, extremely serious action movie, and it works fantastically. The fucking rolling dragon, the rolling dragon attack was fantastic with the big ass dragon and then the O Jonathan. Oh, that was so good. Well, you'll understand once you go watch the movie. You haven't watched it yet, but damn, it was a hoot. I've heard they've already been working on a sequel, and I'm stoked for that. So much they can do. It's good to see after so long D&D finally getting some love. It got hate all the way through the 80s and 90s because it was satanic and all this shit. You know, yeah, people having imaginations apparently that.
I mean, from a
Yeah, like if these people have obviously never played D&D because there's nothing even close to being satanic about the damn game. Like you're gonna find much worse anything on any channel on TV at any time than playing D&D. Like
and I are pretty spiritual people, religious to a point. I don't get fucked around with it.
no, like I ain't fucking around with no Ouija boards and no the Necronomicon can fucking stay buried and we're not doing which Evil Dead covers that, but guys, it's fiction.
But just to put that out there, yeah, it wouldn't do any good.
Yeah, it's much like the Harry Potter thing. Just because someone says a spell and uses magic doesn't mean it's going against God. I'm just throwing that out there. In my personal opinion, I don't think he or she would be upset with that. I mean, Disney movies have magic in it. What do you think the, I can't even think of the names of Cinderella made the carriage and everything with what? How'd that happen? That was magic.
Peter Pan stuff like that.
It's the same. It's literally from your imagination. So if you're one of those people who's been on the fence about or maybe heard some other things about D&D, I encourage you to go out and look, get you some friends and play it, and you'll probably have yourself having a blast.
You'll have a good old time. Yeah, get mad.
Yeah, you don't take it too seriously, and it's a good time, and you can literally make it about anything you're interested in. If you look online, there's something tied to almost every subject line, including actually one of our friends, Tyler, reached out to me and he actually wants me to write a campaign for One Piece D&D. So I'm going to try that and I may fail mightily, but I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to see. And there's an entire rule book and everything for this shit online, like 100 plus pages. So anything you're interested in, you can make a D&D game out of. It doesn't even have to actually have dragons in it, okay? You can literally do anything you want. That's just the name of the damn game. So just throwing some love out there for that. Tal, you better be listening to this, damn it. Probably not. I'm just gonna throw them out there. I'll tell him that I threw him under the bus for not listening. Not that I expect anybody to listen to us babble about fucking nothing, but yeah. So NBA playoffs, Curry just put up 50. Warriors 1-7, as I figured and predicted. Kings put up a good fight, obviously,
That was not discredit the Kings. Nobody expected them to push the Kings.
or that they won the division. No one picked that. Yeah, I think a lot of times in sports, these teams of very young players it sounds terrible. But the only way to really explain it is they kind of make it before they should. Make is not before they should. Make it before they're ready for it. So they went up 2-0. They lost the next three, won game 6, and they lost in 7. So nothing against the Kings. That was their first playoff series since I think it's 2003. So the Kings have a bright future. Don't worry. They will definitely be back, barring any major injuries or trades, and I don't see that happening. So the Kings will be back. It's an exciting future for them. The Warriors have just had so much experience with obviously championships and playoffs that they had the advantage in that department. And I mean, eventually the Warriors' chances of a title have to close, right? I mean, they're probably hovering around that point.
They're probably
Yeah, and I think it's actually a contract year for Draymond. So we'll see. Word is he's wanting to go to the Lakers. Have fun with that and go stomp on people there. So and that's gonna make Warriors Lakers. Let's go Warriors. Hopefully the Warriors destroy the Lakers. Yeah, hopefully the Warriors in 4, or hopefully in 3. Hopefully they just concede game 4. It's so bad. We'll see if we get any more tweets attacking people for no reason and refusing to shake hands with people, being classless. No shock there. I guess, I mean, whatever. People talk shit and everything in the game. Some people apparently take it super seriously because they're just, what's the right word? Not sensitive. It's the, oh, you know what I mean? It's like they don't, it's not incompetent. It's like when you don't believe in yourself. I can't think of the audience probably yelling at the screen trying to tell me what the word is. But yeah, I feel like that's what's going on there. Don't feel confident in yourself, so you're gonna lash out when someone says something about you. Insecure, bam. Obviously, some insecurities there. We wouldn't be overreacting for no reason, and far worse things have been said than being called old.
You've been playing for fucking.
Yeah, and then freak out after the series is over, like, yes, you won, congratulations, you won round 1. Let's act like we've been here before. Or not. Whatever. Yeah, so Warriors, Lakers, I'll go Warriors in 5. I bet the refs win 1.
I'm holding to my Warriors.
Every time anything involving him, I always give the refs 1 because the refs won't let that happen. So Denver and Phoenix. I picked Phoenix. Denver picked game 1. Yeah, but I mean Phoenix is still figuring it out. I figure we'll see. We'll see.
KD and Devin obviously happen.
No. If anything, I think it'll be Phoenix in 7. I think it'll be a long, drawn-out series. We'll see. I'm still going with Phoenix because they have so much talent. Not that Denver doesn't have talent, but they literally have Chris Paul, KD, Ayton, and Devin Booker. I mean, I know Denver has Jokic and Jamal Murray, but it's still a whole lot of talent. So I'm still gonna go Phoenix. I'm gonna go in 7 though because I think it will be a back and forth. Probably be an awesome series for a basketball fan to watch. So. Heat and Knicks. Heat won game 1.
Did the Heat already win?
Yeah, they won game 1. It was today. Randall was not in this game though, so and the Heat still have a shitload of injuries. I'm still thinking the Knicks are young and really haven't been here in forever. I'm still gonna pick the Knicks though. Why not?
I think.
Yeah, without Randall, arguably their best player. Yeah, I think the Knicks will pull it up. Yeah, I say it'll be probably 6 or 7. I mean, Butler's balling. Nothing against Jimmy, but I think the Knicks will take it, and I'm secretly hoping they do because, yeah. Celtics Sixers. Apparently Embiid is doubtful and for game 1 and may not play in the series at all. They're saying. Yeah, they're saying apparently they think the injury is worse than they thought, and he's.
If he's out.
Yeah, they're saying that he's definitely doubtful for game 1, and they announced that a day early, so I think that kind of says where they are. If they're already calling him doubtful a day before the game even starts, that's not saying good things about what they think about the injury, which I don't wish injury on anybody, by the way, but
Joey Tatum they're going to be hard to stick.
I think Embiid may slide into the end of the series. Maybe I'll go Celtics in 6. I don't want to go too overconfident. Plus, as you know, we like to blow leads. For whatever reason, we lose faith for some reason, or just start screwing around and lose games. So I really think that. So that would be my picks. That would be Warriors and Phoenix, and Celtics and Knicks. I think the Celtics. Well, we've lost to the Knicks several times this year for whatever reason, but the playoffs are a different animal. That's a different. Yeah, I think the Celtics would end up going back to the finals. I picked Phoenix to beat the Warriors, but I'm starting to wonder if the Phoenix can beat the Warriors. I honestly think at this point that regardless of whether Phoenix or Denver goes, it might end up being the Warriors. It might be a rematch from last year, but I think the Celtics are going to slay the Dragon this time. I mean, they did get Brogdon, which they didn't have before, the sixth man of the year, so that's a lot. I think either way, I think the Celtics could either beat Phoenix because they haven't been together long enough, or the Warriors, but we'll see.
You guys haven't played the Suns or the Warriors in the finals.
I really thought the biggest obstacle by far was going to be the Sixers of anybody in the East, anyways, because I thought we would probably just roll the Bucks regardless. That the Sixers were going to be our toughest test, no matter which round. So if Embiid's not going to be there, I mean, I think that kind of gives us a nothing is a guarantee by any means, but I think that there's really no reason for them to not go. If nothing else, to the finals, and whoever, either whether they face the Warriors or Phoenix, that is going to be one hell of a series. So hopefully everybody tunes into that because that'll be a good time. We're going to see Guardians this week as well as Sisu, which is I think it's an independent film, but we'll give you the reviews on that for the next pod. I've been reading some manga. I finished all of what's available in regular Chainsaw Man manga, and holy shit, it's glorious and dark and amazing. Let's just say the future seasons to come for the anime are going to be fantastic. I've been trying to catch all the way up on Shonen Jump because it's far past and I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm super excited for what's going to be coming soon. And pretty heartbreaking stuff and dark. So interesting. If you want to see that, you can do that. I think the last topic we had was My Hero Season 6.
Yeah, it is.
So
what you thought of it?
I thought it was good. I mean, still calling it My Villain Academia, obviously, but I think they're doing a good job of pacing, except for I read a thing talking about how how a time jump could have helped, and I feel like that's kind of true. Nothing against it, but I feel like if they would have let Deku like leave the class for a couple years and then come back like super powerful, that would have kind of meant a little bit more.
So instead of him leaving for a couple of
Right. And it probably would have made more sense of them being adults, of them all going so strong so fast. But I mean, that's just kind of a nitpick. But I read that and I was like, you know, they're kind of right. I feel like that kind of would have helped a little bit. Maybe helped just kind of pacing, because it's going to be weird. Literally, the series is going to end and they're not even going to graduate or anything. It's kind of, it's just kind of weird. I guess it's different. I mean, if nothing else is different, there's nothing that says they have to graduate or they have to follow those rules. But theoretically, with every other, shonen and everything else, they always graduate whatever class or test, and they go on that path. So they definitely changed things, but because shit went off the rails so fast. So, but I mean, there's also been no filler either. So that's also kind of a product of that.
Alright, I'll watch it. Alright.
No pirate ship arcs.
Yeah, filler kind of. Some of it.
There's some is all right. Some is acceptable, but when there's literally 30 episodes on a pirate ship, Naruto, then nobody wants to see. Right. Got the Todoroki family drama figured out and secrets.
Dobby.
Right.
Dobby being pretty cool. They have that whole arc going on.
Right.
Turn on him.
We, which fight? And Hawks. Yeah, yeah, no, I did the same thing. And then obviously all the previous All for One owners being involved.
I thought that he was dead. So when actually fly it back, that was pretty.
Did I just say All for One? I meant One for All. Fuck.
Well, yeah, that he was actually still alive.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I remember him freaking name.
Then we also figure out that holy shit, All Might's master was dude's father. I can't even remember the names now either. You know what I'm talking about. I just can't remember the names. All Might's master was the dude's father. They find out. I just can't think of it right now. Whatever. We're dumb. I don't know what else to say.
I was him turning with him.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. The little tidbits they added in there. I thought I mean,
They went long enough.
no, that was cool. I was just thinking my only really critical thing I can say is I thought the whole couple episodes where they're just trying to stop Deku from leaving was
the class were trying to bring him back.
yeah, I'm like I mean, it's all right writing wise. I'm just like right. That's when the time jump would have come in handy. Instead of that whole, which I mean, the artists can do whatever the hell they want. They made the story, these characters. This is just our opinion, but uh, that's just I don't know. That didn't really I didn't really connect with that. I guess I'm just like, all right, I guess. First of all, that was a waste of his powers because now he's useless. So we just did all this for no reason. Like you said, almost to show his teammates his powers, but then he wasn't even able really to fight or do anything. So it's like, like, oh, this is stupid. like, so I think what they were saying with the time jump there instead of all that nonsense would have been.
It would have skipped out how much people actually hated Deku.
Well, I mean, they could have just done they could have done some episodes where the people were still at school, not necessarily filler, but I mean, they could still advance the story of all of them at school and then show everybody hating Deku from afar and maybe show him, but he doesn't want to come back because nobody loves him, type of thing. It's just, Yeah, so I mean, they could have done that in the background while the kids were still at school. It was just nitpicking, but I don't know. It's just kind of it's just weird. I don't, it's just if there's nothing definite set yet. Obviously, they say they're on the final arc. I mean, shit can change, but it's just gonna be weird that all this is happening when they're literally just. Which I mean, also Naruto kind of all happened when they're teenagers as well, but afterwards they continued. Naruto becomes Hokage. So I don't know if they're gonna do the same thing with My Hero, where like they show what happens when they become adults, or if peace is gonna be achieved and then everything's good and they can all grow up. And they're just like, all right, teenagers, it's over. Like what?
Right.
Not even gonna graduate or nothing. Just fuck it. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like what? Like it's just so weird because it's sad in a way because they don't really get to be kids at all, which I guess is kind of the point. They literally had no like once they got in school, everything went terrible right off the bat. So it's just kind of sad. But I mean, I get it. That's the route they went. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's action packed. So I love it. Just to clarify, but when you think about the humanity level, it's like, well, shit, that sucks for them. Like you know, half of them are dead. Not half, but I mean, a lot of them have died, and they're still in the second year of school. Yeah, I can't remember her name currently, but I'd have to look it up. It's America's hero, but America's number one hero. Which, yeah, yeah, the idea, which if you haven't caught on for the series for people at home, is that while it is based in Japan, this is just the emphasis on just Japan's heroes thus far. All the other countries have their own heroes.
Yeah.
Well, assuming if maybe not all, but at least the U.S. does. So it's which that actually comes into play. It's not really a spoiler. That actually comes into play later. So you figure the same thing out for Chainsaw Man as well.
Right.
It's not just while those are talking about Japan's. Mm,
Demons and shit. Devils.
yeah, there's it's not just in Japan. There's many other countries involved and everything else too. So I thought that was kind of cool just to kind of go outward in the world. But I guess that would be my praise slash criticism for My Hero. We already talked about the whole thing with All Might and that stuff too. I still think ultimately they're going to kill him, but we'll see. I thought, it's weird that I say they should have killed somebody because I don't want them to kill All Might, but I thought that was going to be the normal trope they go with every anime is that the trainer or
It's like a necessary.
right, but they've like done it so fast and they're only in year 2, they kind of just skip that altogether. I wonder part of me wonders, and this is just skeptical. I have no idea anything about this guy, but part of me wonders if the show hits such fame so fast and then once they're on that, they really can't stop because they have contracts on the line, TV contracts, Shonen Jump, the manga. Once you hit that fame, you really can't stop writing. And if you do, you're slowing everything down. I mean, you can, it's your own shit, do what you want, but I wonder if part of that is stuff like that is he didn't want it to be like a One Piece situation, so he just hurried things along and just kind of. I could see that. I'm sure he's not hurting for money anymore. Not that he ever was, but I'm sure it's not just a financial thing. So like, part of that, wonder is he doesn't want to. It may even be a she. I don't know. I don't know if it's a he or she that wrote My Hero. To be honest with you, but I wonder if part of that is just wanting to speed things up. And then, there's been so many anime or manga creators that have fallen ill lately, and they've all had to stop projects. That sucks. Like Hunter x Hunter, as I learned, it's not Hunter x Hunter according to the creator. It's Hunter x Hunter for some reason. Uh, don't know what the X is for, but apparently it's Hunter x Hunter. Um, they're ill and stopped. I know the person from My Hero was ill a couple times and had to stop as well.
They're out.
Yeah. for a high, 'cause, I'm sure they need a break, but there's been a lot of manga artists that have fallen ill or had to take elongated periods, and some of them haven't came back. Apparently, Black Clover's in one of those too. So there's a lot of high profile anime that have done that. So I wonder if that's just part of a product being like, wow, I don't want to do this for 20 years. I'm sure it's fun, but sometimes once you get into something and then you realize that how much work it involves, you're like, holy shit, now I can't like take a vacation for like 10 years because now I have all these TV networks and everybody else on me. So I'm sure that's probably a lot of pressure. It's like you would almost want to write the manga all the way through and then you release it so it's already done before anybody knows. Wouldn't that be kind of that'd be so hard though, because how could you? Then you could just waste your whole life writing this damn manga that goes nowhere. And you're like, here it is. It sucks. Yeah, you know. All right, so that's a double-edged sword that I've never really thought about till now, but I'm sure that's probably a shitload of pressure. And you got people like us and 8,000 other people trying to tell you how to end your story and that they want the new episode and blah 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 blah. They probably just get burnt out all the hell. Like, just leave me alone. I'll George R. R. Martin your ass. I'll talk about it for 10 years and never do it. Like, is that what you want? Oh, you mean the way he used to write his books? I'm pretty sure the Game of Thrones series is still not finished in books. Last, yeah, yeah. Again, do whatever he wants, but it doesn't seem like it might not ever finish. And I still don't think he actually did anything on that, but I think they just slapped someone's name on there. Yeah, some of that shit. The credits from the brilliant mind of, you're like, what? No one knows who you are. Apparently, it's been 12 years since the last Game of Thrones book. Uh, apparently, he said he's 3/4 of the way done.
Oh, well, that's good, but still another quarter left to go.
It's not even the last book. That's the sad part. It's not even the last book he's working on. Unless he wrote it all in one, it's supposed to be the next to last. Oh man, that's rough. 12 years, shit still isn't done. Oh man. But any other lasting thoughts for the audience, or
I look forward to coming back and see that.
yeah, I feel like Sisu's gonna be a banger for real. Yeah, it looks funny as hell. So it's gonna go one of two ways. It's gonna be a masterpiece or just shit. I feel like it's gonna be a masterpiece. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what it looks like. It's giving me that vibe. So I hope to update in the future on how the old C&D thing's going, how that works out. I'm gonna hop on that train. I've got some manga coming from One Piece, so I'm gonna try to start powering through that too. Um, I should be able to honestly do that while I'm working because I'm going to be going through this training and a lot of it I already know. So that'll keep me busy and not interrupting people who are trying to learn because a lot of these people are new to insurance and stuff. So I'm just going to shut the hell up and listen, but be in the background type situation. So I should be able to power through some of this manga and stuff and get caught up on some things I've been wanting to watch and do. As anybody knows, One Piece, holy shit, if you start off, it's a journey. It's a journey. I don't even remember what episode they're on now, like almost 1,200. The manga's pretty far ahead of that, so yeah, it's pretty deep. So hopefully, I feel like I can get a head start with the manga, and that'll help me kind of get through that a little bit, that daunting task. And on top of pretty close to finishing Demon Slayer, being caught up with the new season. So just trying to power through and get caught up on a lot of this anime and some of the new stuff that's come out too. So I'll try to update everybody on that as well. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Audible, Google Podcasts. I think that's all of them. Oh, YouTube. This should be transcribed over to YouTube as well. All of which are under Genuine Unintelligence, as well as Facebook. You can also see me stream video games. We have some videos up there and everything as well, so we appreciate it. I think that's all of my selling for the day. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. tell, tell everybody about us, and we appreciate it. Until next time, everybody, have a good one.